Okay, can everyone hear us? If you can, if you would just let us know in the chat box over at the side. Okay, we can see that Lee can hear us. Hi, Camille.
Hi.
If you want,
Kelsey?
good, how are
I'm
you?
trying to. It's freezing outside.
Yes, it is. So you won't need your camera or your microphone unless we tell you to turn it on for a question.
Okay.
And we're going to present our presentation to you guys once we have a few more people in.
Excellent. Can Grisel and I share then the laptop?
Yes, definitely.
Excellent. I'm going to go grab my notebook so I can take some notes.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hit present now and see what happens.
Okay. Share and then do this. Okay. Should we go back and check who's in though?
Yeah.
We have 6.
Bad hair day, Lena. I know. I need to get mine done too. It is time.
It's funny.
Hope everybody's staying warm.
Can you see? Are you able to see? Is there clear? Yes. You can see? Okay.
So you should be able to see my screen right now. Right now I'm on the just on the Google Hangouts. We're about to switch over to our presentation in a second, but if for some reason you can't see my screen, just let us know over in the chat box.
Okay.
And for those that are just joining, you will see at the bottom of your screen, I'm going to hide this. You should see this button that you can turn off your microphone. You're going to want to do that so that not everyone is talking at the same time. And if you have questions, you can do it over in the chat box. So we'll wait just maybe one more minute because I know we had a whole bunch of people that said they were going to join. But we are recording this as well so we can send this out later. It's at 12:04. Joins. Okay,
Yeah.
All right, we'll just get started, then hopefully some more people will join us. All right. So we're just going to kind of walk through some information about the Digital Integration Conference that is specific to you all as mentors and mentees. So first of all, we're going to start with the goals for the mentors. So in order for everyone to get the digital learning competency credits, we had to fill out an application. So what I'm about to do is I'm about to go through what we had to come up with in order for you all to get those credits. So it'll go through what you will have to create and be expected to do in order to receive those credits. So for mentors, you will be hitting standard 1, and that is leadership and digital learning. For this one, teachers will demonstrate leadership in accelerating their integration of digital teaching and learning pedagogies. So there are 4 components of this: engaging in virtual and face-to-face learning communities to expand mastery of technological applications for professional growth and student learning, taking initiative with your own professional growth to inform practice, demonstrating leadership for technology innovation beyond your own classroom, and engaging in peer collaboration, problem solving through continuous planning, designing, testing, evaluation, and recalibration of teaching methods using appropriate digital technology. This will also hit your teacher evaluation with standards 1, 2, and 4, as you can see down at the bottom.
And guys, as we're going through this, when we're in present mode, we can't see if you have a question, but you can type it in and we'll make sure that we look at it. I'll try to get on down with the feedback. Will still be okay.
So here are the expected outcomes for mentors. So as part of the leadership portion of this, you will support your mentee in the creation of the following. And this is what we went over on the day of our launch. So you will help them create a blueprint course in Canvas, or a Google folder of resources, a curriculum unit, a pathway playlist or playway, or a digital assessment portfolio. Just one from that list. You'll also submit evidence for competency 1, so leadership and digital learning, by creating a professional development session for the Digital Integration Conference. So mentors will also have to submit the mentoring log that, again, we went over at the launch day to demonstrate how you supported your mentee with digital teaching and learning pedagogies. Now for the mentees, your standard is different. It is standard 3. So this is digital content and instruction. Teachers will know and use appropriate digital tools and resources for instruction. I don't think I need to read through all of the different factors, but you can kind of see those all right there. And these are things that through this cohort that you will be hitting on. For your teacher evaluation for mentees, you will be hitting standard 2 and standard 4. So be sure to bring that up to your administration when you sit down for those meetings. Now here are the expected outcomes for the mentees. So with help from your mentor, you will create one of the following: the blueprint course, Google folder, curriculum unit, and then those should be on 2 different lines, but the pathway playlist or playway, or a digital assessment portfolio. Again, one of those will need to be submitted. These will all be scored with a rubric to determine the mastery of competency 3. And then you'll, with your, like you did with your beginning of the year data, you will collect the end of the year data to demonstrate the growth throughout the year, and then complete an end of year reflection. And finally, how does this support and connect to our strategic goal of 2024? When we were going through this we had to align to one of the goals within the strategic plan in order to get those DLC credits. And we thought that this most appropriately connected with goal 1, which is every student graduates with meaningful employment or higher education opportunities. So the focus of our course will be on improving the instructional core by promoting student participation in their own education. So tactic 2, challenging students with rigorous tasks and work. Tactic 3, teaching students in ways that reflect their culture and background. Tactic 5, personalizing learning. And Tactic 8, supporting teachers with learning equal to performance expectations. So basically, all of you will be implementing digital tools that will help close that achievement gap for English learners. So that's kind of just an overview of how we were able to get these DLC credits with the cohort 5. So these are the steps that we need to take in order for you all to get those credits.
I don't think the schedule,
Do you want to go over or you want me to? All right, so the date of the conference, a lot of you have been asking what this is going to look like. So we will have We will be at the SPA Administrative Center, and for those of you that have been there, we will start in the bigger building with the auditorium and the cafeteria. So the auditorium will be used as our morning and afternoon sessions. We will also use the auditorium for different presentation sessions. The cafeteria, we are going to have a playground this year, and Amanda's going to go over that in a little bit more detail later on. The hallway will be our digital gallery, the hallway in that same building. And then we will also have the following classrooms in the other building for different presentations. So there will be 5 different presentation sessions in that building, and at least 1, we're hoping more, in the auditorium. In the other building, and there will be 4 different times for these presentation sessions.
Yeah, I'm just sending a message. Guys, I can see you on chat now. I've pulled it up on my screen to monitor the chat. So if you do have a question during any of these slides, just type it in there and I'll be flipping back and forth so that you can we can answer your questions too as we're moving along. What we tried to do is we tried to develop this based on the feedback of the questions that you guys submitted early on. But this right here basically gives you the breakdown of how you're getting your credits. One of the things that we had to do this year in order to qualify for DLC credits is we really had to map out everything that was happening. And so this gives a really clear view of where you're getting all your credits from. With the launch planning day and the gallery for the mentees, or if they're presenting at a breakout session, and then the meetings that you are having ongoing, as well as the same thing for the mentors with the launch planning day and then presentation as well, and meetings. So if we move on to the options for the DI conference, so just to be clear, because I think even myself, I know I have not been very clear in some cases because there are different ways of presenting. So we want to really make sure that we're solid in what this looks like at this point. So we changed the name of the mentees presentation to a digital gallery so that we could hopefully clear that up a little bit. So mentees, you have to either do the digital gallery, which is where you're going to possibly share your project, as well as maybe even having some student presenters with you, where they can share what they did with your project. And then the other option is to present a breakout session with your mentor or another mentee. For example, at 2 different schools, we have teachers that are using Flipgrid, and they're really looking at how they can increase collaboration and network with other students. So they're considering an idea of maybe co-presenting and having some of their students come and talk about Grid Pals. For mentors, presenting a session on an ed tech tool. This does not have to be something new. It could be something that you've already presented on before, and you just you present it again because your audience is different now. And while some of the things that you've done, you've used for a while, and you think that it's common and everybody should know about it, that's not necessarily the case. So don't necessarily think of this as something new. It's something you're already doing. Or you can present with your mentee or another mentor, could be in your presentation as well. For the mentor breakout session, the goal is basically, if you've ever been to an ed tech conference, we will have, and it's very similar to what we did in the DI conference from last year. We'll start out the day in the auditorium, and then we'll have 4 rotations of breakout sessions at SPA. Obviously, the more people that are going to come are coming based on what your title says and based on what your description of your tool is. So, really selling it, people really, look for that and they start marking. And we do fill up. So some of the sessions will fill up, and we'll put session as full, and people will, choose other options. And again, just to reiterate that third bullet, it does not have to be something brand new. You're probably going to be most comfortable if it's something that you've been working with and presented to other people as well. So it can be something that you've done before. If you presented at the DI conference last year and you feel like that particular topic is still relevant, feel free to take that and then we can just tweak it rather than creating something completely new. Last year, the Digital Integration Conference and the showcase, which is where we had the cohort present, they were separate. One was in the fall and one was in the spring. What we decided to do this year, since really the showcase is how you've used digital tools to integrate into instruction, why not just merge it and be a part of that and make the conference really big? So these are pictures from the showcase from last year. The digital gallery, we're planning on it being at SPA between right when you walk into SPA over by the auditorium area before you get to like the cafeteria. There's 2 places in that hallway where we're going to set up some things so people, when they're coming in or coming out or just perusing between the cafeteria, which will be a playground, in the auditorium and other breakout sessions, they will see your presentation. You will not be presenting all day, so you'll have an opportunity to be a learner as well. Okay, so let's move on to the next one.
One thing I do want to point out is you might notice in these pictures that there are no trifold boards.
Oh, yes.
I know we got that question, so we are trying to move away from the trifold boards just because this is a digital gallery, right? And trying to make it more digital than the trifold boards that we used in the past.
Yes, good point. So the playground. Guys, this is our 3rd one. Last year we had 180 people. Our goal is to have 250, including our presenters and student presenters. But we're asking organizations like Microsoft to come, Siemens, Sphero is going to come and do a breakout session. If you've ever seen their robotics, we have packets that I know a lot of you have used. We're asking Discovery Place to come. We're asking some of our vendors to come. We have a group coming from UNCC to do a breakout session. So we want this to be a huge event and not just, something where we do all of the work. We're wanting our community partnerships to come in and really show us what they can offer to all of our classrooms in our district. So if you have any contacts to any other organizations, businesses, and you're like, hey, this might be a great opportunity to ask them to come be a part of this, we will have a playground set up in the cafeteria, and we are asking for as many vendors, as many organizations as possible to come and be there all day to really showcase all of the things that we can bring to our district. So please let me know if you have anybody. All right. Oh, the role of data, right? It's so necessary, but sometimes, yes, we get a little fearful by it. Basically, we need to know that whatever tool we're picking to use has some type of data behind it that says this is not only something you should use because it's something the kids enjoy, but it's also something to use because it works, and it works well. So that's really what we're looking at for your data, is how can we show that what it is you're using is working and it's working well. So I know we have those trackers that we created, and we definitely set our SMART goals, but just really thinking about how is it that I'm checking over time that what I'm using is working well, and how do I show that? That's really the role of the data.
Okay.
All right, planning day. That's me too.
I know, you got a lot.
Planning day is going to be similar to last year. Really, one of the goals that our team feels very strongly about is that a planning day is just that. It's a time for you to plan. Part of the goal for you guys is to network and problem solve with your peers. And so we really want this to be a day where you can come get this done and not have to think about, oh, I have to do it on the weekend, or oh, I have to do it after work. So the planning day is going to be pretty much a guided time for you to plan. We'll have some specific guidelines in the morning. We'll share some resources with you, but then we're going to give you time to plan. And then after lunch, we'll do some feedback sessions where you'll work with your peers and you'll present what it is you're going, to cover. And then we're going to give you the rest of the time to plan, because that's what you need. You need time, and we're going to give it to you.
And for this planning day, we are still working on a location, so we will get that information out to you as soon as we know for sure. But that will be taking place on March 4th.
So we linked in a couple of different slide decks so that you could see some of the presentations that were done last year. And I try to do it from various levels. So the book creator for beginners, that was done by a couple of elementary experts. The comprehension, collaboration, and creativity with Pic Collage, that was somebody from the district office, Lisa Pagano. And then Not Yo Mama's reading tools, which what is, like, who does not want to go to that one, right? That was done by a high school teacher. So we gave you a couple of different examples so that you could see what has been presented in the past. And then let's just say that you're still trying to figure out what tool. That's okay. We have a lot of people that love Flipgrid, but Flipgrid's not the end all be all. So for those of you that are still trying to figure out and a little nervous about this digital gallery and you don't necessarily have the tool that you love, or you're worried about your breakout session, here are some options. Green screen, always a good one. Book Creator, yes. Adobe Spark, if you've never checked it out, you might want to check it out. GoFormative, we shared at the last L committee meeting. It's pretty cool for some written responses and collecting that. Text engineering. We have a huge project going on with text engineering, and if you want to be able to show people how to text engineer and really go through that with people, that might be up your alley. Clickers, that's a great way to pull in data and then explain everything.
Which I think was changed now to EE Legacy. It might be called something different. EE Legacy now.
See, there
Explain
you go.
everything Legacy. Yeah.
So, explain everything, and it has evolved. So you can do like interactive videos where you could like do kind of like if you've ever heard of Show Me, a lot like that. You could create a tutorial for students and push it out. Students can create their own. And then there's more. Google Classroom. Camille, I know you're working on Google Classroom a lot, and I know you're really working on digital portfolios. Google Classroom is definitely a cool one that a lot of people don't know a whole lot about, so it's definitely still a strong one. Canvas, same thing. More so in middle and high school, but doesn't mean you can't use it in the elementary world, and that's a really good tool. Steps to Advance. A lot of people are doing some digital integration with Steps to Advance. Read and Write, the app by Google. That one, a lot of people still don't know what you can do with that as far as like all of the features that it has. Google Sites is available, and then Storyboard.
Yeah, so Storyboard is this great website, and I think you can download the app as well, where it gives you can create these books, and it has these beautiful pictures that you can add into your book or your poem. So it's a really great app for writing.
But there's more. Breakouts, escape rooms, aren't they the hot thing? Okay, so we even have some digital breakouts. So we have some already. If you wanted to just get one and study it and do that, how cool would that be? Or a lot of you have done app smashing. Definitely something that people would appreciate hearing more about. Google Expeditions. I know Sarah Penty is wanting to look at one right now. Camille, I know you've used one quite a bit. Nearpod. Love it. AutoDraw. That's a new one. Pretty cool. I'm not sure if it's a complete session, but it could be part of like the app smash. Seesaw. Love it. Pear Deck. Very similar to Nearpod. You could even do one where you're comparing the two. And then who doesn't love Chatterpix? But wait, there's more. So, apparently Lynn Visica and Amber Nelson have really been talking about this Class Kick, so you might want to check that out. Museum is pretty good about putting people inside of modern museums, right? Don't know a whole lot about it, but it looked pretty cool, and it was on the top 6 EdTech tools of 2018. Sway, Microsoft Notebook. Those are things we already have at the district level. Might be pretty cool to show people what they've already got. And then maybe you could even get some stuff in there with the Microsoft person, right? Timeline, another one that was mentioned by one of our mentors, is a pretty cool one. Haven't seen much of it, but it sounded awesome. And then if you wanted to do something with virtual reality and artificial intelligence, guess what? We've got merge cubes. You could do a session where people are exploring merge cubes, right? How cool is that? But wait, there's more. So you could even do one on Sphero Play. You could do the Breakout EDU kit. We've got it. If you know anything about HP Reveal, which used to be Erasma, that one might be one. And then there's a lot you can do with Google Drawings and Google Slides. Guess what? There's more. So, a lot of you do HyperDocs, and you just don't even know that that's what they are. you could do a session on HyperDocs and how students could use HyperDocs in presentations and so forth and so on. Edpuzzle, super cool tool. A lot of people are working on digital portfolios in the classroom. We talked about this a little bit at our L-Chair meeting. I know some of you have asked for some more work with it, and why not? Show what you're doing. Guess what, guys? We're on a Google Hangout. That's a great way to do conferring. So that's something that could happen. Academic conversations could be recorded through Google Hangout. Insert learning, that is another one that don't know much about, but on the EdTech tools, the popular ones, that one came up, looked pretty cool. And then Canva, what a way to create some type of poster for a presentation, etc. And then that's
All
it,
right.
but that's not it.
And there's many, many more if you were to look. So the next part is, in the past, at our other digital integration conferences, some teachers have brought some students to help them present. And the participants love to see student presenters. They get to showcase their work. They're very proud of their work. And it just becomes really real. The participants get to see what the students have been working on. So if you are interested in bringing student presenters, that is something that we will need to know very soon so we can plan for that. There's some things that go into transportation that we'll have to talk to you about. But we're going to send out a form for you all to fill out after this webinar. So if you are thinking about bringing student presenters, you can let us know there. Also, we would love for you to include evidence of student work in your presentations. You may wish to bring student iPads, or you can add the student work to your own presentations. But again, it kind of makes all the work that you're doing real for the participants.
All right, so next steps, just to reiterate where we are. So we have now until March 4th. That's when we're going to have our planning day for mentees. We want you to just decide how you're going to present your project. If there are things that you feel like you're going to need, we just need to be aware of it so that we can prep for that. And we'll check on that at the planning day. But we just kind of want you to go ahead and start thinking through that. We want you to continue to work with your mentees. Man, these mentees have been,
Mentors.
Mentors. So
Typo.
that's a typo. My bad. Continue to work with your mentors, which I was just going to say, shout out to the mentors and the mentees.
Yes.
For all the hard work. The stuff that we're hearing sounds amazing, and it's been super helpful. You guys know that we've been a team of 4, and right now we're only at 2, so it's been super helpful to have that extra support in place.
Definitely.
But work with them to prepare your presentation, get some feedback from them, keep doing what you're doing, basically. And mentors, same thing. Keep doing what you're doing. Continue to check in with your mentees and do the log. Choose a topic for your presentation. And then decide if you're going to be presenting that with somebody else or on your own. And obviously, you can create a catchy title. The form we don't have linked yet, but we'll push that out to you. Basically, the form is just finding out what are the things that you're most interested in presenting. And if you don't have a catchy title right now, that's something that we can help you work on the planning day, as well as your peers. So I think at this time, we're going to open it up to any questions we might not have covered through that. And Chelsea's going to pull up her screen to show the chat.
Yep. Let's see. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can go ahead and if you can either in the chat, you can say you have a question and you can go ahead and unmute your screen and ask it that way, or you can type it right in there in that chat. All right, so Emma asked, by when do we as mentors let you know that what we want to present on?
We're going to send out that form.
We're going to send out the form, and then do we have a deadline?
We don't have a deadline. Hey, Emma, we don't have a deadline, but we would say that the faster that you guys get your preference in, the better it'll be, because we can't have everybody presenting on like the same tool.
Yeah.
So we're going to send out that form today. And
so, yeah, I think on the form I asked your first, second, and third choice as far as different digital tools go. So basically first come, first serve. is how we'll do that. And we might have a couple sessions that are similar, but
And we'll work with you. I mean, if you're
Mhm.
dying to present on something and we already have somebody else, we might either like suggest that you guys partner up, or maybe what we'll do is find a way to just have them at different times in the breakout session, so that if somebody doesn't get to go to one, they go to the other.
yes. Lena, the planning date is March 4th. And again, we are working on the location for that planning day. And we will let you know as soon as we do. Okay. No problem. Any other questions? All right. Well, we will send out this webinar to everyone along with the Google form and the presentation so you can review it on your own. And if you have any more questions after that, you can let us know and we'll be happy to answer them.
Awesome, guys. Enjoy the rest of your work day.
Bye.
Bye.
I love that.
How do I end this? Leave call.